All right, everyone, welcome back to the Grace Notes podcast. I'm Rocky.
I'm Josh.
And I'm David.
This is a podcast where we talk about grace, our walk with Jesus Christ, and our faith, which we're so excited about. We're also talking about notes. Those are things we are excited about each week. And finally, we rounded up with our Grace Notes section where we talk about all things music. All three of us are musicians, and we just love to talk about, again, what we're excited about. And the Lord is working in all three of these areas, but we put a big emphasis on grace because without that, the rest of it is all for Him. And it doesn't matter. So we hope this is encouraging to you today. Boys, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Sunday currently. We just got done with church not too long ago. And honestly, one of my favorite sermons to date.
It's been great. It's going to tie in really well with our book club segment where we're talking about Pastor Josh's book, The Man for the Day. I'm super stoked. Great sermon today. I can't wait to hear your discussion points. David, how are you?
It's been a great weekend overall. Just very relaxing, just fun with friends and being productive still. So it's been great.
Love productiveness. Yes, and friends. It's fun. Speaking of fun, we're starting this podcast off a little differently. I actually have a question to pose to you guys, something I was thinking about earlier. Can you catch any similarities between the movie by Disney, Tangled, and how God works in our lives? I'll give you a few seconds.
Okay. The last time I saw that movie was in high school. So I don't know if I can fully answer that question in confidence.
Can I phone a friend, aka Google, too?
You can. I'll give you a hint. So think about our main character, Rapunzel. She doesn't know her identity. She has no idea who she actually is. And she's in this world. This is not a hint. This is the answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then we can discuss it because I feel like it's worth discussing. She's in this world with this evil mother that she thinks is her mom, which is actually totally not.
Right.
Spoiler alert for a movie that's really old if you haven't seen it. Oh well. And the whole time, she was kidnapped from her royal home from the king and the queen, and just so this woman could have her magical hair abilities. Forget the magical hair part for a second. Every day on her birthday, I guess, or every night of her birthday, on her birthday, the king and queen will send up these lanterns to honor the princess that went missing. It's like the Lord reaching out as He's done throughout all of history to get us back into His presence. I think back to the Look to Jesus conference. Think about how He's always left things for us to point us back to Him and ultimately to come home to all that He's called us to when Satan divided us from His presence. So I literally thought about that earlier this week. So random. Maybe because we're in the middle of getting ready to get on a Disney cruise, me and my wife, again this summer, but it just kind of came to mind thinking Disney-wise, and just how cool that kind of parallels that how faithful Rapunzel's parents were to, even though they didn't have a clue if she was still alive or not, but still putting up these lanterns hoping that she would see them. She does, and eventually figures out who she actually is, her identity. Oh my gosh, I'm a princess. I'm the princess. And really the person I thought was my mom is literal evil incarnate because she's just selfish and wants me for her own purposes. Very similar to how Satan makes us think that we are worth nothing, that we don't belong to heavenly things. Just an interesting parallel that I thought about this week. And the Lord obviously reaching out through His word, reaching out through circumstances. I mean, you look at nature, it just screams the Lord's creation. He reaches out through other people. And just throughout history, constantly trying to bring us back into His presence consistently.
Yeah, it is crazy once you're looking more into it, that how many parallels there are with secular media. And even though they don't purposely try to do it, when you look into it, it had the background from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought going off of that, Meet the Robinsons.
Ooh.
Especially going into our book club section later. What's the quote that they always do in that movie? Let go of the past and keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward.
That ties in very well with the whole idea of direction that we're going to be talking about in this entire episode, but especially in the book club section.
Oh yeah, this episode is titled Direction. That's right.
Yeah.
book club. See, we're holding something over the audience so they know to keep listening, because that's coming up at the end of our grace section. So please, if this is your first episode, welcome. Thank you for being here. If it's your 6th episode, thank you for being here. And we're just excited to get to share our conversations with you. And if you have questions, as always, you can leave them. And I think that's a great segue into some listener statistics, boys.
Ooh.
Last week, what did we reveal?
What did we reveal last week?
1% of our audience was from Russia.
Right,
1%. This week, we were talking about a few weeks ago what our percentage of men to women listeners were. We have a total of 68.2% men and 31.2% women. That's Spotify and Apple combined.
Nice.
So I like that. That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Closer.
Getting closer.
I'm getting closer. I know that our book club segment is the man for the day, but and we're 3 men, but I think it's a lot of stuff that we talk about is very applicable to every believer.
Absolutely.
So we're just happy that you're here, and I know women in their lives have men that are a part of their lives, so they could definitely benefit from hearing this and sharing it and knowing it as well. I think my mom has also been very interested in all the things we're reading about being, godly men, right? Because she's like, yeah, I should really apply this and make sure I'm telling this to all the men in my life. So I thought that was really, really cool too. So women, you can listen in. This is not just a man conversation. Listen in, apply it to some man in your life. Get him the book. We have a question of the day from a listener. So David, I want to pass it over to you.
All right, so I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. Hey, Nico, if you're listening. And we got into it, and it was a really good conversation. And so basically, he is posing the question of if it is our job to share on social media what we have from a company or a company that we're sponsored by, or a job that we have and they force us to post for their job. How do we do that without being like a bragging about it? How do we show that and people don't see that, oh, this guy's just bragging about everything that he has? And because social media does that to us, that's the first thing we think about in social media is we're comparing to others.
Yep, that's
so
true.
How do we portray something that our job is making us do, even though we love that job and we are doing it because we care for it? But how do we do that in a godly way to where it is for God?
Well, I think it's all about the language that you use. Obviously, if you are sponsored by, I'm thinking about percussionists. I'm not sure many of the world.
Yes, Nico and I are both percussionists, and it's a very different world in other instruments to where we're sponsored by companies, and then we are only allowed to play with their mallets or with their instruments, and we can't play with other companies.
Because you guys have a lot of instruments.
Yes.
Yeah, percussionists are not just, I drum all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they have so many different things they have to buy and afford. Like my wife does oboe, and she has a lot of reeds and wood she has to buy, but she has one oboe that she plays.
And like drum set players, they'll be sponsored by a cymbal company. They'll be sponsored by a drum head company. They'll be sponsored by a drum company. And so it's 3 different companies just on drum set that will sponsor you.
Yeah. Not even to mention, once you start getting into concert percussion, it kind of goes, just lots of instruments. Mm-hmm. So it is, I think it's in the language of how we present it. We never want to come off as we're bragging about this. I think it is, I don't think it's wrong to share that we've been blessed by the Lord in specific ways. Like there's so many things in my own personal life that I'm not a percussionist, but like not even music related. There are so many things I have in my life that I shouldn't. Like I don't deserve them. It doesn't make sense how I got them, or circumstances I've been placed in that like I go, me? Mm-hmm. I don't deserve this. What have I done? Look at this guy over here who's been like working his butt off and he's not even close to what I just fell into my lap. Or some people would say luck. But I think if we honor God with it and we say, I've been so blessed and so fortunate to get to, work with said company or be sponsored by this or to receive this gift. I think when it's your job and a company sponsors you, you have to post about it. Obviously, post about it. if it's something that you're joyous about that has nothing to do with the company sponsorship, that you're just like absolutely thrilled by, I think there's a clear difference between going, oh my gosh, I just got this new car and I love it. Good luck everybody else figuring out how to get one. Like, I'm so, look at me, I'm awesome. Like, that's one thing. But if you take that and point it towards the Lord and go, I've been so blessed by the Lord, here's why. And I just wanted to share how excited and joyful I am about it. I think that's totally different. And I think a lot of that, if it's genuine joy, doesn't end up on social media all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the first option, like you talked about. That shows up, not the second option.
Right. Like, we share the podcast every week because we're encouraged by it.
Yep.
It's never to point to us and go, look at this cool thing we did. I mean, I think it's cool and all of that, but ultimately it should point others towards the Lord, because the first section we start with is grace. And like we said at the beginning of the podcast, everything that we talk about in here, even if it is secular things we enjoy, it is because the Lord has blessed us to be able to enjoy those things, that we're excited about them. And ultimately we hope it points people back to Him, because none of this podcast, the roof over our heads, the cars that we drive, anything that we have, like, without God, it wouldn't exist, and it wouldn't play such a pivotal. We wouldn't be blessed by it. It would just be what it is. Who knows where we would be? Everything is a part of God's plan. We'll talk more about that later in the book segment and direction, but that's my take on it. Josh?
You know what my first thought was? Like, okay, for those who don't know, Rocky and I both play French horn.
Wait, we do? I'm just kidding.
We do. So my first thought were the people that are sponsored by like Yamaha, or they're like Yamaha artists, so they have to use Yamaha equipment. I aspire to be a Yamaha artist, but going back to Rocky's point, I think the way that we speak about it and our verbiage on these posts is super important. Like, you could say, oh, look at this thing that I have. Isn't it cool? Wow. Or be like, talking about the reason as to why you have it, being God. The reason I'm doing music is because I believe God gave me that gift so I can share His name to other people. And I know I'm sure you both agree, right? And I hope that if there's other musicians listening, that they would agree as well. But yeah, I think it just goes back to remembering why we're able to do the thing. And I think another thing that this kind of parallels to is posting content of you playing an excerpt or a solo or something, right? Because so easily you want to be like, oh, I did that very well, so I want other people to see it. But that's a different perspective than, God allowed me to do that at this time. Let me show everyone what He was able to do through me. Because remember, we're all vessels, right? And the only reason we can do these things is because He gave us those gifts. So it goes back to verbiage. And we just have to remind ourselves daily of the foundation of those things.
And He prepared us to get to do that thing in some way, shape, or form.
He led us in the right direction.
Wow, I love this.
Yeah. And then piggybacking off that, percussionists are naturally gearheads because we have so much stuff that we need. And so part of that conversation was just like, how do we get the stuff we need, but also still honoring God? And I think that Pastor Josh does such a great job of emphasizing this every single week, where the priority should be make sure you're joining a church, make sure you're serving the church, and then make sure you're sacrificially giving to the church consistently. And if you're doing all these three things, then, like we said, God will provide the rest of it. And that includes what helps us with our career, if that is a part of God's plan for us.
Yep. I think a lot of what we were talking about goes back to the sermon that we had today about this constant fight of ourselves and like fighting, being self-focused.
Yeah.
When it comes to social media and getting equipment, we're a lot of times we're just thinking what works best for me, right? But we're challenged daily by the moment to be thinking about God in all of it. Like, He's the foundation of everything, right? Going back to the equipment thing, Rocky, maybe you can relate. For me, my equipment is mouthpieces and rotor oil and slide grease, right? That pretty much covers all of it. I've only ever purchased one horn in my life, and the only reason I was able to purchase that was because of my granny. Like, she set aside money in her will for me and my brothers. And with that money, I was able to get my horn and pay off college. Like, I don't just do it because I'm able, right? God gave me that purpose. He gave me that assignment, right? We're taking steps always in the right direction in that regard.
Yeah. No, you're right. There's so many things. I mean, this is kind of a pivot, but kind of springboarding off of it. I want to hear your thoughts on this too. I think as men, since we do have about 70% men listening to this, and maybe women deal with it too, to some degree. And it relates to how we relate with God, but I think we struggle asking for help.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
100%. And I think we think if somebody gives us something, it's a handout.
Yeah.
We don't want to be seen as someone who can't, do for ourselves. I think it's fine line between lazy and asking for help when you actually need it. I think people go too far one of either direction. Yeah. And I think that having the Lord at the center of everything and truly surrendering and understanding and asking him for help. I ask him for help all the time. But there's still some areas like we talked about that we still struggle to surrender.
Yeah.
Areas we struggle to say, I need your help here. I can manage. Because that's kind of what society, at least in Western culture, kind of teaches us. Like, okay, we've raised you. Now go do the thing that you know how to do. Our jobs teach us that.
Yep.
How often have we been in a situation where, like, I mean, we were both elementary teachers at one point and or now. Yep. And I know my principals are excellent this year. Like, they are excellent and they will help. Yet I still struggle to ask them for help because I'm afraid I'm bugging them or it looks like I'm weak. When they could just help. Be one thing if I was sitting in my classroom and didn't get up and I was still having problems or I wasn't teaching. But that's not the case. Like, I just struggle to ask for help in a lot of areas. And that's what Western culture kind of teaches us. Manage on your own. You'll be fine. Chart your own course. And I think once we have the Lord at the center of our lives and it's what flows out from us, we start there because the Lord always works from the inside out.
True.
Slow, day by day, one step at a time in the right direction. It just flows out into everything else. So I'm okay with going to Marissa and going, I really need help with this. Could you help? And it's not always, I'm still working at it. It's not perfect, but I feel more like I can be like, hey, I think I can help you here without feeling like I'm stepping on her toes. And then there are other places where I go, I need your help with this. Would you mind doing this for me? Because that would mean a lot. I think it's even funnier when she can see it before I ever say anything and just does things. And I'm literally like, the emoji where you've got like tears in your eyes and you're like just so thankful like that. This literally, I feel like that shout out to my beautiful wife. This kind of, it's just hard for me to put into words, but she has just exceedingly serves me with a servant heart. And I think in a marriage, totally off topic, but like also kind of not, because marriage points us to the Lord as well.
Yep, true.
I think if both people are concerned with the other person's well-being and puts themselves third instead of, whatever, not first, it's just, it works out because both people are just serving each other. And that's what Jesus modeled. And again, that's a small microscopic version of what our relationship is with the Lord, the church, and Jesus.
Right.
So shout out to Marissa. You are literally amazing. Thanks for marrying me because I certainly married up and I am blessed. So extremely blessed. So praise God for her and just all the things. So. Cool.
Yeah.
I
like it.
All right, we're on the air. So we're gonna, I guess, punt on over to. I want to give a shout out to my brother-in-law. Hi, Chad. If you've listened this far.
Hi, Chad.
Turns out it wasn't my sister that listens. It was relayed through my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is the one that listens on his drives. He loves what we're doing. Shout out to you, Chad.
Yeah, Chad.
And he was double checking it and running it by his wife, my sister, who then, of course, being my sister, calls up my mother. Anyway, so here we are. So thanks for making sure and keeping us straight. Appreciate that.
Yes,
keeping
thank
us
you.
honest.
Yep.
And we just want to, address it with like we did last week. And we're glad that you listen, and we're excited to keep encouraging and sharing things that we're learning or figuring out. Again, we don't have all the answers, because if we did, this whole podcast would be hypocritical. And we need Jesus, everyone. So
and then one more shout out again to Nico for that awesome question. I think that was a good
Nico.
start to our episode today.
I wanted to try to come up with like that was pretty neat, but that just doesn't that's not a very good one. So I'm going to refrain from saying it. Rip, already did. Okay. So into the main section of the grace section. So what is one way God has moved in your life this week? And what is one thing God has been teaching or showing you this week?
I can kick off this section this time. For me, what is one way God moved in your life this week? I put down by continually giving in a season of busyness and difficulty. It hit me like a truck about Wednesday, just how packed I'm going to be this semester. There's a lot happening. But through all of it, God, I could tell, is working in it. I also put down that I've had several colleagues and students showing interest in the podcast. So that's always just really good to hear. And I also want to mention this morning, because for the first time in a minute, context, I've not been to church in a couple weeks. 1 week I was sick, and the other week I was out of town for Valentine's Day. So this was my first time back in about 2 weeks. And I don't know, today's sermon, it stirred something in me. I feel a bit more woken up, I guess you could say. So God definitely moved in that way today. I mean, there's only been, I think, 3 or 4 times ever where I felt led to walk up and talk to someone about something after a sermon. And today was one of those days, because I just felt so convicted of all the things that Pastor Josh was talking about. And
we're going to link the sermon in the show notes this week, so you can go watch it for yourself.
Please watch
on
it.
Exodus 20, which is the 10 Commandments, and you should give it a listen. Pastor Josh, all the time, like we could not sing higher praises of what he's done for the Lord and what he is doing, and just how he has been blessed with the gift of research and speaking and conveying thoughts that are from God. It's just life changed. Yeah. You should give it a listen.
Absolutely. And all of his sermons, they kind of smack you with reality a bit. This one especially. So please check out that sermon if you can, because I would recommend anyone in the world to listen to that. It was that good. So that's how I'd answer question number 1. Question 2, what is one thing God has been teaching / showing me this week? I wrote down, trials are an opportunity to choose God. Anytime there is conflict or something, you have at least two avenues to choose from. You can either run to the firm foundation that is God, or you could succumb into yourself, right? And kind of give into these negative emotions of depression, anxiety, guilt, shame. And there were several times this week where I felt like I wanted to do that, but I didn't. And let me tell you, I feel like I'm trying to morph better in this way. And I think it is working more. So yes, trials are an opportunity to choose him. Yeah. And it only makes sense when you put things into perspective to choose him when you are struggling.
I think that even being aware that you need to do that more is a work of the Holy Spirit.
100%.
Because if you're not aware of it, there's nothing you could, there's no hope for trying. And the only way that you could ever have, there's no way you as Josh by yourself could have ever figured that out.
No.
It's had to be outside of yourself.
Yep. And it's stuff like that continually reminds me that he is at work. He's at work in the conversations that I'm not in. He's at work in the place that I work at when I'm not there. He's continually working in all these aspects of my life. So it only makes sense for me to treat him as my refuge in times of trouble and adversity.
for me, this week, one way he's moved in my life, I keep saying one. We all talk about more, and it's fine. I had a student's grandparent stop me after school earlier this week, which is really, really, really cool. And God moved in the point where he's like, "You're the teacher with the podcast." And I was like, okay, this is going to go one of two ways. I was like, oh no. But it was a blessing from the Lord because he talked about, oh, you're a Christian. You have the podcast. I'm really glad you're here. We talked for a little bit. I kind of told him about kind of what we're doing, why we do it. And to me, it wasn't like a long conversation. I didn't feel like it had a lot of super deep things, but it was just a nice little like, hey, you're walking in the right direction. This is something cool and good that you are doing for the kingdom, and just keep doing it because it's reaching more people than you ever could have done if you had just shut the laptop and not done it. And we're not perfect at this, nor will we ever be, but hopefully you can tell each week we're trying. I was joking with them before we started. I was like, guys, I say I've solved the audio thing this week, but I'm going to keep saying that every week because we just keep making little subtle improvements. The majority of time I spend editing the podcast and putting it all together is not the like actual process of like making all the segments and the music and all that stuff it's making sure our voices sound good and trying to tweak it a bunch of different ways. So again, or adding little pieces of felt from Walmart behind the microphones to make them a little bit more isolated. So I love seeing the little improvements and just like the little like pat on the head that the Lord kind of gave me this week going, yeah, you guys are on the right track. Keep doing it. You're affecting more people than you think you are. So that was super encouraging.
And as an elementary teacher, having parents come up to you when you're the music teacher and not their main teacher, that's just a blessing altogether because that was the best experience every single time when the parent would come up to you and say, thank you for doing what you're doing for the kids. Yeah.
And it doesn't happen, we don't get to interact with parents that much other than either a bad phone call or I feel like homeroom teachers, this is going to get into a whole separate topic, but I feel like homeroom teachers have a little bit more, like they only have like, between 15 to 20 kids, at least where I'm currently at.
Yep.
So they see the same kids all day. So if they want to call home for blah, 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 who's actually having a really good day, it's like one versus me going like, I see 90 kids a day going, I can't call home good for every single one of them. And I've actually recently changed my policy where I don't call home if they're bad unless they get to a certain point, just because it's worn me out. But that's a whole different topic for a different day. So thank you to Mike, if you're listening. Thanks for saying something. I appreciate it. And it's just cool. And shout out to Remy and Esme as well. Thanks for being cool and awesome students. You guys are cool. And appreciate that you guys so openly share that your faith and have allowed me in the same faith to kind of talk with you about that. And hopefully I've been a positive influence and encouragement. So thanks for listening if you are. So that was cool. The creative works that I get to do. I think about how God created the world and the universe and everything in existence and how much he said, it's good, and I'm sure he had to have had fun doing it. Like creating has to have had some joy. And like, when you make a good meal, David, or you make book club, Josh, or you make anything, or you rehearse music and perform it. Like I was talking with Marissa about this before when she plays oboe, it's the same sort of thing. Getting to create something, even if it's taking something that already existed and like shape shifting it like origami into something that you get to like put your stamp on. We just tap into a little bit of that joy that the Lord must have felt, like just a small fraction of what he felt in creating everything that exists. And we're made in God's image. We're like him in every way except that we are dependent on him and he's independent. How cool is it to get to relate to that? I just felt such conviction in getting to create things, and that like this podcast, getting to work on that video, and getting to do YouTube stuff, drum corps stuff that isn't even relate. Like I do convey that. I mean, this time with the Lord thing is in every video that I make, so I hope people see that. But like some of the stuff isn't even necessarily related to talking about him directly, but everything should point to the Lord. And it's been cool to see him go, yeah, you like being creative and you like getting to create things. Me too, buddy. And just keep honoring me with it. And I'm glad you find such joy and just excitement and fun in it and making that process better. Even if you don't have a whole lot to do it with. A lot of the equipment, you know, you can still make really great things in today's day and age. So that is what, that was the answer to question number 2. What, oh gosh, I forgot I write this every week and I don't remember. What is one thing he's teaching and showing me this week? Is that my creativity, and the works that I get to do with it are definitely from him. It's a gift from him. And then I've also been praying. I've been waking up tired a lot recently. Mm-hmm. And I usually kind of complain about it in my head, which is not the best way to start the day. But I found recently that I go, okay, Lord, I don't have the strength today. You are my strength. Be my strength today because I can't do this today.
That's good.
I can't get up. This is surrendering to him first thing. In my head, like none of this is said out loud. I don't imagine if I just said it and was like, Lord, be my strength. Like my wife is asleep. Like I'm always up before her most of the time. So, yeah, that's just been a small thing that has helped me get up and get going and realize, like, I stopped worrying about me being tired. Mm-hmm. I'll get coffee later, or not at all. Whatever the Lord's will is.
Right.
So that's kind of been my week. Looking at that, also some running victories, but I'm not going to dwell on those. Those have been great. I shared it with the boys separately, but it's just been cool to see him work this week, which should be the statement every we're just always so amazed at what he's doing.
That's a great segue into my question or my answer to the question, because for question number 2, I put down that God has been showing me just to have fun. Mm-hmm. I mean, this whole week, for news that might be put out later in a future episode of the podcast, I've just felt more relaxed, and I just have this whole week. I just had a lot more fun than I had recently, and part of it is just figuring out how to manage my schedule. Trying new methods for the scheduling system. But yeah, my playing feels way more relaxed than it has. We played in front of studio on Friday in the percussion studio, and that was my most relaxed I felt in a while for that. And just having time, just actually focusing on the friendships that I am with, and just enjoying quality time, not being worried about anything when I'm with them, and just being able to separate that time from everything else I'm doing with my life. When I'm with them, and not anything else. So just trying to focus on that and keep school out of my friendships. And for number 1, God is continually showing me a new passion just to read the Bible every day, like I mentioned in the past.
That deserves some claps right there. Let's go. Woo. Amen.
As I mentioned in the past couple of weeks, I've been learning new methods. New ways of doing things has been like my thing the past 3 weeks.
David 2.0.
Can confirm.
They're roommates.
You couldn't tell.
You didn't know.
And so my New Year's resolution was to read for fun more, and that made it to where I can read the Bible easier. I learned a new study method that I got from Rocky just from observing him and his studying sometimes, and that's made diving into the word deeper than just the surface level. Every time I've read the Bible before, it's been read a chapter, I'll pray, thank you God for everything that you've done. And thank you for allowing me to do everything that you do and that you want me to do with reading your word. And then that'll be about it, and not really going into further much detail into the Bible. But the past few weeks, every single day, I've been finally, like 2 to 3 years ago, up in my community group up in Lynchburg, Virginia. Shout out to Highland Heights Baptist Church. A lot of my friends are still there. And we spent a whole entire year in Genesis.
Wow.
In the community group. And we didn't even finish it.
Wow.
Because we like all the holiday, the typical.
Oh, right.
All those transitions like Pastor Josh does here. And back then it's just like, okay, let's move on to the next book type of deal. It's like we're kind of getting tired of this. Like, let's try to move on. And I'm reading First Samuel, and I was reading First Samuel. I was like, wait a second. I looked back at Genesis. Oh, and like just from 2 to 3 years ago, it popped back in my head. Thanks to the sticky note method and just like trying to family tree stuff and stuff like that. So
Holy Spirit.
Yeah. Did you guys see that image that has been posted where it shows how many times the Bible references itself?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like
this giant, really cool like string.
It's like a rainbow type thing.
Should I link that in the show notes too?
Sure,
I'm gonna put that down there.
It's really profound how many connections are just interwebbed like that.
I think it also like Pastor Josh has been going through Exodus this past year.
He has, yeah.
And not many pastors really. I won't say that, but like they don't really go.
It's more topical than it is book based.
He does a really good job of translating it to today.
Yeah,
and not just this is the old time situation. And he relates Jesus into every single sermon that he does with Exodus, which is so some Bibles are written just for that. Like I have a Jesus Bible, which is just every single chapter, every single book and chapter of the book has a statement that how it relates to Jesus, and like that's kind of how Pastor Josh does all his sermons, and so it's really helping with the connections and everything.
Yeah, so that's great.
Yeah, I do love, and he talks about it in the chapter we're going to talk about, but giving men practical advice.
Yes.
For right now, because we need to be that man today. It's not just some ethereal like, oh, well, you'll eventually like who you are today is who you will continue to become. And it's a whole, like, we'll talk about it more in depth because I don't want to like go out of caption or anything in my feeling, talking about judging. Don't want to be cross captioning, but yeah, we'll talk about that shortly. But that's super cool. I love getting to see that in your life, David.
And it's just bringing more joy and bringing more, like Pastor Joe said today, like we'll only find true joy in God.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So
it's true.
Actually having that joy in Him.
100%.
And I will say, going to the answer to your second question about having more fun in music, I feel like for me, and maybe you can relate to this as well, the moment I felt the most successful in my music was when I stopped caring about how people were going to perceive how I did. And I just thought of myself as a vessel for what God has assigned me to do. Ever since that point, I do music because it's fun. And of course we want to be in an orchestra or an ensemble or a grad, whatever it is. Like, yeah, we want to do that. But at the same time, going back to our question of the day, we kind of have to remember the foundation for the thing that we're doing.
Yeah. And it goes back to surrender too. Perfect love casts out all fear.
Yep.
So if you're playing and it's for the Lord and it's the Lord working through you, or you're performing or putting something out in the world, if he is the center of your life and his presence is flowing through you, then you have nothing to fear. Like, the Lord loves hearing whatever you're doing. If you make mistakes, it is what it is. It was the Lord's plan to prepare you for whatever comes next, to set the direction of your life the way it was supposed to go.
Yep. So, and it reminds us that we're human, and that's a beautiful thing.
We need him. And it's just like this beautiful cycle.
Yep.
So,
and on that note, I am hungry.
Josh, can I get you a club sandwich?
I think I'm good, but what I would like? I would love book club, welcome to book club.
Nice. We've decided it's going to be a running theme how we transition into the book club segment, and I think we yes. All right.
I think we yes.
Yeah, I think we yes. Hey, I teach music people, not English.
Give us ideas on the next
segment. If you have any cool things, leave it. We'd love it.
It's like the Simpsons couch gag. It just keeps changing.
Keeps changing every day.
I love it.
Speaking of the day, man for the day.
The direction we're going to.
Yeah,
Speaking of man.
Let's go in the man for the day. Chapter 3. Hey, if you're joining us for the first time, thanks for being here. We recommend going back to, don't just start here. We recommend going back, if you're listening to Book Club, go back and at least listen to the book club section from episode 4 and 5. No, 3, 4, and 5. Because we did the introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. We are now... This is chapter 3. Just kidding. I don't even know. It would have been easier if we had lined up chapters with episodes, but it's fine. Either way, go back to the one that is titled The Man for the Day.
Yep.
And start there. Listen to just the book club section. I mean, you can listen to all of it if you want, but
that should be episode 3,
I think. And then 4 we did on chapter
4
1.
and 1.
5 on 2. We're here at 6. Okay, great. So that way you're ready to join us in book club. We're on chapter 3, Direction. And I'll read this to start us off. Direction. Seeing every moment as a significant step in becoming the man God wants you to be. This book is by J. Josh Smith. We've been talking about it for a while. I always ask the question, what stood out to you guys significantly? Let's talk about chapter 3, Direction, because it's amazing.
There was so many things. Do you have anything specific, David, in mind?
You can go first.
Okay. Let me find it.
Well, that's why I wanted you to go first, so I could find mine.
Oh, okay. Well, no, there's just a lot to talk about.
I feel like I underlined too much now, just because there's so many good nuggets in here. I mean, look at this. You guys can't see. It's an audio pocket. Look at this.
I'm going to start from the end of the chapter, and maybe we can work backwards from there. Maybe that's a good idea.
Sure, whatever you want.
Yes, there was a specific. Here we go. Page 53. The bottom half of this page was some really, really good stuff.
I literally wrote the word profound.
Yeah,
I did.
I am just going to read this last little paragraph on this page. It says, Men, today is about preparation and progress. Direction means walking with Jesus today. It means saying no to sin today. Don't worry about saying no to sin forever. Just say no to sin right now.
Snaps.
I think everyone has what I call a thorn on their side. There's some sin, some battle that they've been fighting for forever. I have one. I think everyone has one. And our thought is, oh, I want this thing gone. I want this thing away. I want it to stop forever. But when you focus on that, you're not focusing on the present moment and what you could be doing then to prevent it from happening in that day. And if you focus on the day forever, it just becomes you celebrate the success in that day, and that motivates you to do it the next day, and then the next day. It's this continual thing of we achieve the short term to hopefully achieve the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think about it, since we're musicians. I mean, think about when you're learning a new piece of music. If you look at the whole thing, you're setting yourself up for mental disaster.
AKA a piece I just got for a Chet Pearl.
You're like, and you like pull it out, and it's got like all these different like folding sections. It's got like a map in this on this portion,
and like 15 percussion parts.
And there's pictures
I'll show it to you later.
And there's a picture.
It's ridiculous, by the way.
And there's like pictures of like the piece's grandkids and the composer's grandkids. If you flip that out, and then there's also like a GPS tracker on another fold out. Like it. There's just when you look at a piece of music that big, it's overwhelming if you look at it as the whole thing. But if you look at a measure at a time, a beat at a time, a note at a time, it's way more manageable. It's like reading the Bible in a year.
Yes.
You look at this book and you go, it's not up here. I thought I had it right here. It's downstairs. You look at how thick that is and you go, I've never read anything that big, unless you've like read Harry Potter somehow. But I was like, I've never. It's not as dense.
Somehow.
Sorry, that's not me. I'm listeking to it, but I'm not. I tried to read as a kid. Side note, didn't work out. But you look at that and you go, there's no way I could do that. But if you take it a day at a time, find a Bible reading plan, day at a time. You miss a day, hop back on, like one day at a time, one day at a time, one day at a time. And you'll find yourself eventually, you've read the whole thing. And that's another thing I found profound is like, I'm almost done with my Bible in a year plan, even though it took longer than a year. Fine. On the right direction.
Yep.
And it's just like, oh my gosh, I've almost read all of the Lord's holy word. Like, I could not have imagined that. I don't know. It's just one of those things that I thought was meant for people that were much higher sophistication. It's just, anyways.
The thing I think about when I read something like that, and something like on page 50, where it says, the principle of direction is this. Every moment is a significant step in making you into the man God wants you to be. The most important step you take is the next one. So make sure it's a step in the right direction.
It's like Frozen 2. Let's call back to Disney. Frozen 2 song, The Next Right Thing. Like you're doing the next right thing.
Yes.
And it's just Yes, that's it.
But my thought was, I've known several people who I've invited to church, and they've said something along the lines of, well, I think I have to be more settled and in a whatever, like with my relationship or where I live and all these different things before I really commit to something like this. But if our priority is today, that negates that whole argument, in my opinion.
Yeah. And we've said this also about, oh my gosh, lost my train of thought. Love when that happens.
Choo-choo.
There it went. I don't know if it's coming back.
On the train.
This is the second time this happened today, by the way. Josh, say what you were saying, but more.
Yeah. Yes. So I've known several people that I've invited to church, and they would say something like, I would love to go, but before, like, I just need to be certain on where I am, whether it be my relationship, my family, all these different things. And if our focus is today, I think what Josh is saying in this chapter negates that whole argument. Rocky has his hand up.
Sorry, I just remembered.
The train came back.
The train. It's the same thing like with starting this podcast.
Oh,
how many months did we sit and say, man, we really need to start this?
Oh, it was at least like...
It was at least 6.
Yeah, at least.
At least 6, maybe more. Oh, the wind is picking up outside. That is the Ruach, as the spirit of the Lord, the wind. Anyways, we have just spent so much of our lives saying, well, I need to do this before this happens. I need to do this before this happens. I need to do this before this happens. Just start. Take one.
Do it.
Where's Nike?
Nike, yep.
Nike, if you want to sponsor, reach out. Yeah. Like, just do it. Just start. It doesn't have to be great. We're remixing the audio every week.
Yeah.
Just start.
Raise your hand if you're a procrastinator. I'm raising my hand.
I'm raising my hand. This is my speaking voice.
I know someone out there has hopefully raised their hand as well.
Yeah.
It's so easy to put things off until it's convenient.
Yep.
And until it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But what if tomorrow doesn't happen?
Mm-hmm. We have to focus on today.
Yep.
We have to.
Men, today, like you just said, today's about preparation and progress. Saying no to sin today, and walking with Jesus today. Mm-hmm. What does that look like? It's obviously going to look different if you're someone who doesn't believe and becomes a believer or is starting that process. It's walking with Jesus is going to look different than some of us who have been walking with him for many, many years, and he's still teaching us new things.
Yep.
So don't compare your walks either.
Mm-hmm. No, that's one of the most dangerous things you can do, in my opinion.
So, like we mentioned, the social media, just threats of social media being out there comparing everybody's. Did we mention that? Or did we mention that?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember because we also talked about it in our community group today.
That was the question of the day, I think.
That was the question. My brain is so everywhere today, but that's okay because the Lord's using it. So it's part of...
Amen to that.
Yeah,
Like
so
that.
I'm
Good.
surrendering. It is what it is, and the Lord's going to use it. So if you've ever been frazzled, the Lord will use you. Encouraging. But we talked about that in social media in community group today too, and how we just see thousands and thousands of what people's curated ideas of their day is. And I've been using social media way less since we did the fast. And I got to tell y'all, I love technology, as you can probably tell from the many trivia questions I put on this podcast and how much I love talking nerdy tech stuff and marvel at it. And the Lord has blessed us with it. But social media, I don't miss it. I want it to be chapter markers in my friends' lives so I can go and keep up with them even though I'm not close to them.
Yeah, right.
That's all I want. I don't need to know all of the other things that are going on. I don't need to hear people's posts about things that aren't relevant or aren't important. I just want to be like, oh, cool. This couple that I grew up with, oh, they have a child now. Oh, this person graduated from this cool thing they were doing. That's awesome. Let me celebrate them. Instead, it has turned into how much they can gamify our attention, which is a whole separate thing.
Yeah.
I honestly think, the journaling app, I'm going to say this before I forget it.
I do.
The journaling app on iPhone, what if we, like everything we want to post on social media as our like chapter markers, what if we just post it in the journal app and then, I don't know, if it never crosses your mind again, don't post it. However, smart. If it's something that you're like, oh, this was so good in my journal app, I want to share it with people, then I think it becomes something that you can post. And celebrating others too. I love getting to post weekly about the podcast. I love getting to celebrate my wife on social media, and posting links to things that I just want to share with people, like not random things, but like things that the Lord has asked me to, or has allowed me to create, that I want to share with the world. But yeah, all the other stuff, I don't really need it. Don't really need it. And it's just much simpler when we're not. Focus on today. That's all we're saying.
Focus on today.
Don't compare yourself to other people's walks.
Yeah, and going back to reading about not being afraid to seeing the whole picture of the whole entire Bible, how big it is, and trying to read it in the day. Like, I personally haven't done that yet, and maybe now that it's becoming easier and easier for me, I might start it like later this year or next year. I had a great brunch with a mutual friend of ours and now mentor of mine, Mark Perry. He's a older gentleman at a church that has been very graciously wanting to be a mentor of mine, and we're going to be trying to meet monthly. Mark, if you're listening, hello.
Yeah, Mark.
What's up, Mark?
It's actually like, you talk about ripple effects. Like, Mark reached out and has talked to us, Josh, whether you knew it or not. Like, well, maybe he's talked to you more than me, but like, he called me up to play a gig. I hadn't played a gig in like probably a decade.
Wow.
and got to go play alongside my wife, thanks to a connection that David had with someone I didn't fully know.
I gave him Rocky's number.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I got it from David. And I was like,
either Red Coat alumni or is a Red Coat alumni, and I work with the Red Coats, and so he's been serving the Red Coats in a very much needed area. And we just had a fantastic conversation on Wednesday. And one thing he said, he has a Bible in a Year plan that he's doing, but he's just calling it reading the Bible because he's not afraid of missing a day. Like, he's not putting the year on himself. Yeah. And if he misses a day, so be it. He'll just read it when he can. Yeah. And if it takes him 2 years, it takes him 2 years. Yep. Like, he's not, because we so tend to put that stress on ourselves for no reason.
It's true. We talk about checking off boxes, and then it becomes about the box more so than spending quality time.
Like, instead like his plan, like, instead of reading like 4 chapters from 5 different books, which some reading plans make you do. And it's like, it's really hard to tackle all that in our busy lives. Yep.
I have the Prince plan here. And yeah, I like the way that, like, it is usually 2 or 3 books. Something old, usually a psalm or something in the middle, and then something New Testament related. But I love the way that they've organized it, and there's thought, because it all kind of relates. The psalm relate to what you read, but it can be overwhelming at times when you look at it this way. And I'm probably like 6 weeks past when I originally started and had to punt some things. But I think as long as it's unhurried time with the Lord, and you've set aside that time, however it best fits. Because that's the thing I get nervous about, being transparent, is like, eventually our lives are going to change. I mean, I know me and Marissa are going to have a kid and kids at some point. We don't know where we're going to move. Again, we're surrendering that to the Lord. But how I spend time with the Lord is going to look different in those seasons of early child rearing, right? And then they get older, it'll be easier to kind of switch up again and do more things that not only involve the kids, but also allow me to come up and have time at private study. That's something that, middle schoolers can handle, not being tied to me 24/7, or Marissa 24/7, and can kind of do their own thing while we maybe get some study time or work on whatever. It's just one of those things, like, your time with the Lord will look different in different seasons, as long as you're still, again, taking the next right step, and you're still seeking Him. A crawl, I'm pretty sure this is in here, crawling on your hands and knees towards the Lord in the right direction is still better than standing still or running the opposite direction.
Yes.
Yeah, and taking that one more step, right? One more time. That's something Josh talks about in this book a lot, Pastor Josh. And he's using Elijah's story throughout this book. And he said on page 47, Elijah trusted that the direction of his life mattered more than distance. If he didn't, he would have never been the man God called him to be. This is how God prepared him, and this is how God prepares us. The sentence right before that is one step at a time. And so just every little thing we're doing, reading that one more verse every single day, or just like picking up the Bible one day at a time, or praying to God one day at a time, thanking Him for everything that He's given us one day at a time. Like that's just one more step that he's giving us to it.
You ever hear the one push-up theory?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. For our listeners, the one push-up theory is basically like, let's say you make a New Year's resolution or a resolution period to do 1,000 push-ups. No, let's not do that much. 100 push-ups every day for the whole year. Great. So you get down first day. It's miserable, but you do 100 and you feel satisfied. You're done the first day. Day 2 comes around. Your arms are really sore. You do about 10 and you kind of collapse and you're like, I don't know. And you get up and you're like, I'll do more tomorrow. You get up the next day. You look at the floor. You have this like side eye with the floor and you just don't. And then the rest of the year goes by and you don't do any more. Versus if you wake up and you go, I'm going to do a push-up today. And you get down and you do a push-up and you're like, it's so easy.
Yep.
That was so easy. Oh my gosh, I did one push-up. While I'm down here, I might as well like double my goal. Look at that. 200%. Triple while I'm down here. And you'll find that by setting something like that, one push-up a day, one step in the right direction, you'll find that you've traveled a great distance versus the person that said they were going to do 100. It's it's a great mentality to have. So seeing the Lord work in that too is really great, because I used to teach my band kids that too. It's really great.
The athletes use 1% at a time.
1%.
1%. All NFL players, everybody says 1% better, 1% better.
That's good.
And so
Adds up.
Yeah, absolutely. There was something that I wanted to discuss on page 44 of the book.
Oh, what's happening? I'm right there. Look at that.
I was going to talk about that second full paragraph. It opens up. Josh says,
Dang, me too. Gosh darn it. Okay, let's go.
I grew up assuming that God's work was always big work. Amen to that.
Arrow. There's an arrow there on mine.
Yeah, I'm like, that's me. And then in the next little blurb, it says, if you only view God's work as big work, you will miss most of the work God intends to do. And that like blew my mind. I feel like a lot of us kind of assume with God being all-knowing and all-powerful and all these things that we expect this like big thing to happen. But we don't really see that like a lot. Like he does little things in our lives. He just nudges us with these little things that like we look back. Like I look back at where I was like 4 years ago, like before I was here in Athens, and spiritually I have flourished compared to where I was when I was in undergrad. And I know that just came with these little pushes. And does that mean that I was perfect in that journey? Absolutely not. I made so many slip-ups and mistakes, but like, yeah, it's all about taking the initiative and going in that direction and intending to go in that direction. Sometimes you'll slip on a stair. What do? You get back up and you keep walking.
Yep. As long as it's the right direction.
As long as it's the right direction.
And I relate this to like practicing or looking at yourself in the mirror every day.
Yes.
You look at yourself in the mirror every day, you literally, other than maybe a pimple that pops up or you got something in your teeth, like you're like, I look the same as I did yesterday. But you go back and look at pictures of yourself from like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and you're like, wow.
That happened to me a couple weeks ago because I've been trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
And I was looking and I was just feeling discouraged. I was like, dang, I don't feel like I'm doing, like, I feel like I'm doing all these things, but I'm not seeing any changes. And then I looked at a picture from me of like that past April, and I was like, oh my gosh. Yep. Like I have lost, I'm actually making progress. Like it's good.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Like it's in the weight journey, like a lot of us have our own different weight journeys. I'm trying to gain a little bit of weight. People are trying to lose weight. And so it's really hard to look at it every single day. Like people tell you, don't look at the weight scale every single day. Don't weigh yourself every single day, because it'll just be the same if you do that. And if you look at it a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time, then you will finally see the change. And so,
it's like overall trend rather than moment by
correct.
moment.
It's like when you do long tones as a brass player, it never feels like one day you're like, oh my gosh, my tone just all suddenly appeared. Like maybe if you opened your teeth, that happened like the first day. But shout out to 6th grade brass players everywhere. But generally, once you've gotten to that point, your tone improving over time is something you just trust the process and you keep doing them every day.
Yep.
And before you know it, you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I have really good characteristic tone quality. Same on any instrument.
For me, it's moving my wrist every single day. Just rotating my wrist like a doorknob every single day so I don't use any arm. And over time, it just gets better and better.
the opposite is true too. People typically don't have, and this was from Titus 10, I'm pulling this in, don't have moral falls. We typically see people, men, I'm going to call out men here. We don't typically see men just all of a sudden like, oh, what, they just messed up so big. When did this happen? You know, like we have a lot of people that are like surprised by things. Odds are it probably didn't happen in a snap. It was something that was slow behind the scenes, and eventually it all gave way.
Exactly.
They were the opposite direction. They were taking one step the opposite way. And I think that we've all been there to some degree in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
With various different things. But it's also nice to know that this is cliche as everything, but it's true here that, you know, the start of a great journey begins with a single step. So just in the fact that maybe you're the furthest from God, if you're a listener, that you've ever been, you can say, you know, you've done things that you couldn't possibly imagine, like blah, 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 all these terrible things. You feel completely separated. You think there's no way I deserve to go to church. I deserve anything. Number one, there's grace for that. And number two, just take one step back towards him. Turn around and take one step. Then take another step. And eventually you'll look back and realize that you're far away from where you were when you were at rock bottom. And you'll ultimately be looking towards the Lord. And that direction is everything. Distance is something that comes with slow progress over time. And it's more meaningful that way.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree, Josh. I grew up thinking that the Lord worked in just big ways. Like I'm like waiting for, you know, where's my giant pillar of fire moment, you know?
Yeah, right.
Lord, that can't be from you. That's something else that's mundane and happened. But he's in every single moment of every day.
Right.
And we talked about the staying community group. There's a guy named Joe that our leader, Jeff and his wife know, and he's had some things fall through, or whatever the situation is. It doesn't matter. Joe always goes, yeah, well, that is what it is. But if that's the way the Lord wanted it, so I'm just going to keep going with it.
Yep.
And it's such a hard but great mentality to have.
Yep.
And so I'm going to try to do that more
Instead
and
of
more.
posting it to the world.
And just be like, okay, well, I didn't win the Mr. Beast money. It's fine. We're going to keep going, or whatever the case is, right? Like we're just going to keep taking one step towards whatever it is, and trusting and surrendering and knowing he's preparing us and we're headed in the right direction.
Yeah, on top of the beginning of the chapter, I wrote 4 things that just kind of summarizing what I think the chapter does really well. And number 1, trust in the Lord's direction for you. Number 2, choose the right direction and God will take you for the distance. If you're having God in your life at all times. Number 3, every small step/decision matters in your life, no matter how big or small. And number 4, don't stop, just keep moving. And so there was another point in there. I don't think I can find it right now. But he said, like, don't be complacent. Don't stop. Don't just be like, don't be so tired that you're not really striving forward or just like letting life move on. But just keep going forward. Keep having that passion. Keep striving for God. I can't remember what page.
I think it's page 46. Powelson reminds us crawling on our hands and knees towards Jesus is better than sprinting towards anything else.
And to piggyback off of that, you know, I just flipped to the page where I said, I feel this. And it talks about when like we feel like we stop moving. When in reality, we never stay still. And this is on page 55. We never stay still. We are always headed somewhere.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Yeah, we are headed towards Jesus or away from him, but we will never stand still. Those moment by moment choices today, right now. Say no to sin today. Walk with Jesus today. And eventually just keep saying that day after day, and the sanctification that he will continue to do in your life is just unreal. I'm not the man I was 3 years ago when I moved here and right before I married Marissa, and I never could have imagined what he was doing. And it was like pulling teeth in a lot of ways to get me to realize that this was the best move for me to come here. And even when I did move here, I didn't know what the plan was in obscurity, but we talked about that last podcast. But praise God that he did move me here, because I would have been much worse off. I don't recognize that guy from three years ago, except we look the same, a little younger. And it's just my appreciation for what the Lord has done through obscurity, and the day-to-day mundane has been, the thankfulness is I don't know, limitless. I just want to thank him all the time.
And number 4 is from page 54, where he says, the warning of Hebrews 2 is not as much about willful disobedience as it is about thoughtless wandering. We just don't think about our direction at all. We just live. We just exist. We just make it through another day. Proverbs 4:26 commands us to ponder the path of our feet and just keep moving on.
Yeah, we have to look at every situation and go, God's working here. And am I walking with him and working with him, or am I more interested in myself and just existing and making it through another day? And as an elementary teacher, I feel that like that speaks to me. Yeah. So I gotta work on that. Got to work on that a lot. So, that's great. Does anybody have any other thoughts? Josh, would you like to pray for us to close out this section?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everyone do as you do when you pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this time together, for us to talk about you and this time of brotherhood. I pray that we go through this next week just remembering who you are and what foundation you bring to us as we go in the right direction. It can be a small step, it can be a large step, but we must make sure that we are walking towards you in everything that we do. There will be times where we slip, and there will be times where things are not perfect, but Father, let us always trend towards you in everything that we do, in every aspect of our life, not just at work, not just at home, but in every moment of our lives, in every aspect. Let us find a way to always come closer to you, because you are our biggest need. We love you with all of our heart. For your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
So now we must move forward.
We must move in the direction of trivia! Okay, so David, it's week 2 for David of 4. Currently, Josh and I are tied with 1 point. Let's get this first question, David.
What do you guys like, sports or Bible?
Let's get sports out of the way, because I don't know nothing about no sports.
I'm just going to put sports ball and call it a day.
Go!
In the spirit of the Winter Olympics that is coming to a close soon.
Okay. I'm optimistic. I've been watching a little bit.
Okay. What month and year was the very first Winter Olympics held? Closest gets the point.
Month
Bonus point
and
if
year?
you guess the country.
Oh,
Month and year. Bonus point if you get the country.
Literally no idea.
Now, when you say closest, now the month, we have month and year. So is the month the point and the year a point?
Closest to the year.
Just the year.
Yeah,
Okay, closest to the year gets point. Do we get bonus for the month?
Half a point for the month and half a point for the country.
Half a point for the month. Okay.
Okay.
So possible 2 points for this
Can
question.
we get like a range? Like,
No.
Okay,
No
because
hinting.
I'm worried I'm going to be very wrong.
Half a point for the month, half a point for the country.
I have no clue.
Well, as we ponder this, remember the answers will be at the end as always. Make sure you're playing along at home. Don't cheat. Don't look it up on Google. And we'll be right back after this break. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Grace Notes Podcast, episode 6. We're on to our notes section where we talk about things that we are just generally excited about for the week or just upcoming in general. Anybody want to start?
I can start.
All right.
Mine's pretty simple, so I can start. Josh and I recently went bowling with friends last night and from our community group, and that was just so much fun. First time that group alone was together, and we just had a really good time together. And 2 hours bowling, 2 games, and it's like we just forgot how long we were there. It was like, oh, an hour 45 minutes
Yeah,
or
like,
something like that.
It's already
like,
10:30. All right,
yeah,
I'll go home.
yeah. It's like, okay, wow, that was fun, and see y'all in about 7 hours, in about 10 hours, when we get to church.
Yep, true.
And so that was really fun, and getting to know more of the community group members as we move along. And then I also put down, as I think I mentioned before already, but I'm trying a new scheduling system with my calendar, and this is the second week I will have doing it. I adjust my calendar every Saturday when I do my finances and check all that stuff out. And it makes it to where it's scary to the person who doesn't know what the categories mean, because I color code everything. But it makes it to where everything that's out of my head is on the calendar, and it's no longer in my head. And so I don't have to think about the day anymore. I just look at my phone, look at the calendar, like, oh, that's where I got to go next. Okay, sure. And then I go there. And so last week went really smoothly, and I was just going along with having more fun for the week. I think that was a part of it too, because it was all just like even my meals are blacked out. Like lunch is this time, dinner is this time.
There's something about just having to not use that brain capacity or remember what's next, and just being able to dump it.
Yep. And like scheduling time for food is hard.
Yeah.
And so just blocking it out, like, oh, no, nothing else can interrupt us.
Yep, true.
This is going to be that time. So I'd encourage you to try the blocking out system. And if you're an avid YouTube watcher, there's a lot of productivity nerds who go into the blocking out system of calendar systems. Abi Adal, for instance, he had a handful of videos on it.
I love Ali Abdal. I actually have his book right behind you over there.
Oh, the productivity?
The Feel Good Productivity is over there on my shelf.
Yeah.
I listened to the audiobook. I was like, I must buy the book. So it feels like I actually read the actual paper version. But yeah, I highly recommend.
Borrow that from you, because I've been wanting to read
please,
it.
please. It's really, really good. I'm thinking about listening to the audiobook again.
But so he talks about that blocking system, and other productivity YouTubers also do. So just Google it, and it'll pop up if you want to try it.
Yeah, and just something super easy too. If you're like everybody, I think kind of has a different system for how they what works best for them, based on their profession, what they do. I love that they added reminders to calendar.
Yeah, it's great
in iOS, which a few OSs ago, which kind of changed the game. But I love something happens, I put it in there.
Yep.
If I don't, I'm lost. Mm-hmm. If it's on the calendar, I know when people ask me, "Are you busy that day?" I can go, "Yes, I am busy that day." Even potential tentative things I can put on there and block the time out, because if it's not on there, it's not going to be important. And when our lives get busier, it's important that we set aside time for the things that matter most.
Yep.
You can call me a little crazy, but I pay for a calendar app that has a bunch of different features than the Apple one doesn't have, and I'm okay with paying for it because it manages my day for me, and it manages like how I'm going to pay for it for itself in the future. And so it, like, if I put, like, before Apple had it on reminders, it took the reminders that I had onto that calendar for itself. And I'm able to add different calendars in, like, my school calendar or my work calendar, and it will just subscribe that calendar to the calendar. And so every single calendar, every single task, every single reminder is on one calendar. And it allows me to, like, schedule events and stuff like that. And so, like, my lessons, I can schedule my lessons directly emailing them from the calendar.
Love that.
So it's a great business calendar. So
it's good. It's good stuff. I guess I'll go next. Well, if my phone went unlocked so I could remember what I was hyped for this week. That's
I have it right here.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Pokemon Leaf Green is coming, and Fire Red.
So excited for
Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green are coming to Nintendo Switch consoles, Switch 1 and 2. I would hope it would run on both. It is old at this point. I think it came out in Japan in like 2004. I don't know when it came out here.
that was part of one of your trivia questions, wasn't it?
Nope. That was the original ones. The original ones came out. Red and Green came out in Japan in 96.
And then the American version was my birthday, I think, in 98 or something.
Yes. The Red and Blue came out in America in 98.
Yes.
And then these are remakes of the original ones.
2001 or something.
2004, something like that. Anyways, I remember spending so much time on Pokemon Leaf Green. It's actually honestly on that shelf over there, back there with the Alley of Doll book.
Copy too, yeah.
And I want to play it again, even though I feel like I won't finish it. Maybe, I don't know. I think I will. Maybe it just depends. It's one of those things that's like, yes, it's probably overpriced. Yes, there aren't a whole lot of new features, but I think about those batteries are going to die in that cartridge, and I want to be able to share these experiences with either other people or my future children for just longevity, preservation of games. I'm just glad that it will be available. Sure, you can play it online for free, but having it on the official hardware, there's just something so easy about being able to just boot it up on the Switch and just go. And it's $20. It'll be fine. I hope that Pokemon continues with this trend. I would love to see the ones that cost hundreds of dollars secondhand officially to come on. Like, I want Pokemon Black and White and Black and White 2. Emerald. Dude, Platinum. I never got to play many of those third versions.
Great game.
I think if it happens, which, the Pokemon Presents is...
They already remade Sapphire and Ruby, so they would just have to do Emerald, I think.
I think the Pokemon Presents is on the day that this episode comes out, 27th.
27th.
Yeah. So this is Sunday, so we don't know what's happening then, but I'm hoping that there's some sort of detail about maybe we could do more of this. I would love. It's weird that they announced it before it happened.
Yeah. Right.
I really hope that they're like, and also we have all of these because they're just sitting on them. Just bring them on over.
Yeah.
Bring them on over. I don't care if you have to figure out how to do the DS thing. We'll figure it out. Okay. Just put Pokemon Platinum. Put Pokemon Platinum on the eShop.
Screen, the bottom screen thing.
Yeah. Just make me turn it horizontally. That's all I need. Just flip it. It's fine. And the other thing I'm excited about, well, this is as of yesterday, Pokopia.
Yes.
I didn't know that I wanted it until I watched the preview. So don't sleep on it. It's like Minecraft meets Viva Pinata meets Animal Crossing meets Pokemon. Excited about it. And finally, non-video game related, I've been running, and I sent this to them yesterday, but I increased my step cadence. It says 167 on here, but I did even faster yesterday. It was a 173, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah. And for those of you that aren't runners, and for me, literally like, I don't know, probably 5 days ago, who didn't care about his, steps per minute. Apparently it's much healthier for your body to take more steps and shorter strides than to take longer steps, especially when they're heavier and you're a heel striker.
And long-legged.
And me. So, I think a lot of my, remember we were talking about, I don't know if it's gastrointestinal. I think it's more just digestive tract in general. I was having so many problems while running. And then I switched over to that. And I felt less tired after running the same distance in a faster amount of time yesterday. And I just could not believe it. So praise God for that one. So I'm going to keep doing that. I think the ideal pace people say is between 180 and 190, which is crazy.
I think that's for professional.
I'm going for it anyway. See you at the Olympics, boys. Because I'm only 7 away.
Love it.
And then maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll end up, I've never run more than probably 10K. So I'd be interested to finally train and do maybe like a half marathon sometime. And I
Rocky and I doing a half marathon together.
Okay, and we'll live stream the whole thing. That'll be the
Josh
whole
will
podcast.
be recording the whole thing.
Josh will have like a table. He's like running around with a mic like next to us at certain checkpoints.
I have no stamina. Though I'm a horn player, I don't have the stamina for running. I just don't.
It's
and I'm not a horn player, and I have the stamina for running.
And I did drum corps. So here we are. I've also, it's also just been interesting, I'm look back and I did drum corps 11 years ago, which was like I was the fittest, best shape of my life. And it has been somewhat discouraging to try to get that formula right, like as I've aged. And it finally feels like I'm starting to figure out that like I'm getting older and I'm in my early 30s, but it doesn't mean that I can't be just as, if not more, physically fit or engaged or like progressing in that regard. Even though I have less time to commit to working out than back then when I would go to the gym like 5 days a week because college. So anyways, he showed up in my workouts this week. The Lord did. He showed up in my Hype for Childhood video games. It's just been a joyous time. That's what I've been excited about.
That's awesome.
Oh, and this podcast will come out one day before this, but Saturday, make sure I'm right before I say anything wrong. Saturday is mine and Marissa's 1,000th day of marriage.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I am still working out the plans for that. I don't think we're doing anything big for it. Just a little like something like, thanks for putting up with me for 1,000 days, you know.
What's
Thanks
the
for
big
being my
term
wife.
for 1,000? Like there's decade, there's
Kilo. I don't know.
That's a great question that I don't
Leave
know
us
the
a
answer
comment if you know.
That way Rocky can use that.
Yeah. Someone should fact check that while I share my
I will
notes.
fact check.
Okay. I have a couple of things for my note section. The first of which being a parallel with what David said about the bowling with church friends. That was a lot of fun. I won in golf rules, so I consider it a win. It's just a lot of fun. I love bowling, even if I was consistent in getting in the gutters every single time. I would also put alongside that, shout out to my and David's other roommate, Ian Wolf. We got to play pool yesterday. And it was a lot of fun. Pool, fun fact, was actually a hobby of mine when I was younger.
Same here.
Yes, but that pool table was at my granny's house, so I didn't have it readily available to me at all times. And then once I was in college, I never played it again up until yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dang, this is a lot of fun. And I forgot how much I enjoyed playing pool.
And our roommate is one of the best pool players in.
Oh yeah, he cleans back us.
Yeah, he's one of the best players there.
Yeah, there was one. We were playing this game called was it Cutthroat?
Cutthroat, yeah.
Where one person is the balls 1 through 5, one person's 6 to 10, the other's 11 to 15.
It's 4-3 players.
It's 4-3 players.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So I believe, if I remember correctly, Ian. So the goal of the game is you have to leave your group, your set of numbers on the table.
Opposite
right?
of the regular pool rules. Yeah.
Oh.
Right. So if I'm 1 through 5, my goal is to get 6 to 15 off the board. That's my goal. And I had 2 balls left. He had 1. Mm-hmm. And Ian also had 1. And I look at David and I'm like, this is a close game. Ian gets both of my balls in 1 turn and then gets David. Game was over. And we're like, okay, cool.
Game over.
The winner is Ian.
So he's impressive to where he can set up the next shot perfectly.
Yeah,
he could be an Olympic curler then. He could totally.
He does full on trigonometry when he's looking at the shots. It's impressive. It's really cool to see.
We were having fun commentating the whole time.
Oh yeah, I was telling. I think you'd find this funny, Rocky. This is the first time I'm telling him this. I was telling David that we give the vibe whenever Ian was playing pool of, the 2 old Muppets that sit on the top as the show's happening. I was like,
pool sticks together.
You got our pool together, like, whoa.
Yeah, I could see that.
Heckling him.
I will also say it's been really fun to see David. I feel like I'm rubbing off on David a little bit, where my humor, he's showing it more. And he's getting really quick-witted. He was quick-witted before, but she's showing it more with these jokes. A lot of them came up last night, and I was like, this is good. I like this. This. This is great. And there's a couple other things I didn't write down I wanted to talk about. Firstly, I was checking this as Mr. Beast's name came up earlier. But as of right now, with what I'm looking at, the puzzle for the $1 million thing, still unsolved. Not only is it unsolved, but Mr. Beast has stated that with people working together, no one has come close to figuring out what the puzzle answers are. So do with that information what you will. I think that's very interesting. Because, as far as I'm aware, there's a lot of people that are, tag teaming this, and they're like, I think I got it. But Mr. Beast is like, nope. So it's more intricate than people have been thinking it is.
Yeah. Maybe if it lasts until spring break, we can go work on it together, boys.
I think he's supposed to be releasing more hint videos soon.
Okay.
But yeah. The other thing, it's a super niche thing, but when I was a kid, there was this game called My Singing Monsters that I was obsessed with.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just saw, so their community for that game has blown up in the past couple of years. And I still see videos every now and then because I saved their channel from when I subscribed from 9-10 years ago. And they have unofficially announced their next collab with T-Pain.
Of all people.
Of all people.
Is
They got
T-Pain
T-Pain.
still relevant?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, he is.
Sure.
He's still.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
still okay.
He got his fame resurged when he was on The Masked Singer for that first season. Because he was that costume. And everyone's like, the true fans of T-Pain knew it was T-Pain. But so many people were like, whose voice is this? I can't figure it out because it wasn't auto-tuned.
Yeah.
And it still sounded really good. And then he revealed himself, and then the internet kind of blew up. So since then, it's been like, oh yeah, T-Pain. And then that video came out, and we're like, what? That's such a random collab. But I thought that was really interesting.
Speaking of collabs, I saw a leak, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I think the Super Mario Galaxy movie is collabing with Feastables.
No
What?
way.
Yeah, I saw leaks of the packaging. I hope it wasn't AI generated. I hope it was real. So if it happens, there you go. I thought that was strange. I'm like, oh my
That
gosh,
is
Nintendo,
strange.
or I guess Illumination, the whole movie is partnering with a YouTube branded chocolate.
That is really
which
interesting.
is like I think we are in a pivotal transition between like old media and new media,
Yeah.
where new media
Yeah,
will
for
eventually just become media,
yeah.
for better or for worse.
Mhm.
So interesting.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. I think that closes out my notes. I can't think of anything at the moment. I think that's all I got.
Well, I guess that means it's time for trivia. All right, David, give us the second question about Le Baba.
Bible question. Hopefully they can. We'll see. All right. As I mentioned before,
I don't like that confidence.
either.
as I mentioned before, there was something that peaked in my week where I made a connection to a certain part of the Bible, and we'll see if they remember what we talked about earlier as we've been recording. So here's the question, and it relates to that.
Okay.
King Saul in 1 Samuel, who is he in direct lineage all the way back in Genesis? Who is King Saul?
Can I get my Bible? I'm kidding.
Wait, can you?
So King Saul in 1 Samuel, right? So he's the first king
of
Yeah.
Israel?
that
Yeah.
was made for Israel and all that. Who is it? Who is the head of the direct lineage for him in Genesis? So in Genesis, we have all the names that pop up and all that stuff. All right.
So you want the furthest back?
Who is King Saul related to in Genesis?
Do we name any relative, or do we want to go all the way back to the first one?
I will give you. You can do if you name one of the three. I'll do that.
I don't understand the question.
Who is King Saul's? So basically, what I'm asking, who is King Saul's either parent, grandparent, or
Okay, got it.
great
Okay.
grandparent that is in Genesis?
I've got to erase
I
my answer.
literally have no
Hold on. I should know this, but I. Okay.
And the tribe that, like the tribe that he was, if you know the tribe that King Samuel came from in 1 Samuel, then that will.
I mean
also
King
help.
Saul.
King Saul, yes. Yeah. If you know the tribe that King Saul was part of, that might help.
I know the guy after him.
I'll say it again one more time for the listeners so they can have it. So there's King Saul in 1 Samuel. All right. Samuel made him king in the Bible, and around chapter 5, I think I am now. And his tribe, where he was born and where his dad was born, is the direct lineage tribe to very important people in the Bible in Genesis. Who is that lineage?
Okay. Our answers will be at the end as always. We'll be right back after this break. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Grace Notes podcast. We're on to our Grace Notes section. We talk about music, things music. We excited about music, excited us, we are. All right. Nice sentence, right?
Yep.
So, Josh, I totally didn't answer this when we were talking about 1,000 before in the last section.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kilo, or you can use grand, like, it's 5 grand,
Yeah.
or, like a kilogram is 1,000 grams. So yeah, and there's other things too, but we don't use those as much. So, I guess I'll start us on, the Grace Notes section. I had a kindergarten class this week that showed 100% steady beat accuracy.
Oh?
And to make it even more legit, this is the class that, like, the behaviors are off the wall. But, like, we probably have the most... It's like, I feel like we've got, like, watchmen on, like, towers, and we're making sure no one is, like, doing anything to hurt anybody. But I checked, and I assessed each child walking around the room. 100% of this class can, like, nail steady beat 100% of the time. I'm like,
wow.
Yay! Great! It was just a little win.
Yep.
I was like, you guys are doing great. So little victories. And my Christian song of the week was "With Lifted Hands" by Ryan Stevenson. It's a good listen. It just talks about how we've tasted all this world has to offer, and surrender. It's a lot about what we've talked about on the podcast before. So really great Christian song of the week.
Nice.
Punting it on over to
Yeah, I can give it a go.
Josh.
For my Grace Notes, I put successful orchestra concert that happened this past Thursday. We played Price's First Symphony, and my horn section, like they're killer. Love them all. They're fantastic. So shout out to Jonah, shout out to Patrick, shout out to Ava, shout out to Ian. All awesome people, awesome musicians. And I also put down, it's like music adjacent, but I'm finding the passion that, I'm finding my passion in research through this bibliography class that me and David are in.
That's good.
Well, the thing is there's a lot of things that are making research, one, a lot more fun, but two, a lot more accessible, and also just easier in general. And I'm finding some really cool things about my specific topic. And I will get to present some of this information at the Southeastern Horn Workshop this year. Yes, I got approved to do a lecture at the same time as Randy Faust, which is insane. I that's wild to me. I remember the first time I went to Southeast Horn Workshop. For those who don't know, the Southeastern Horn Workshop is a regional conference that happens every year around beginning of March, and we change locations every year. They have lectures, they have master classes, they have competitions, they have what else do they have? Did I say recitals? Did I say that yet?
No.
They have recitals. They have recitals, and they have exhibits.
I was about to say that. Exhibits.
Yes.
Showroom floor.
Yes, they have all of the horns for you to try, all the mouthpieces for you to try.
I will never forget the one time I walked in and I picked up a horn and played it. This guy who said, blah, 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 you should try it. I was like, cool. How much is it? I was legit thinking, well, maybe I should trade my horn in. And I felt like it's a car. But he's like, this is 10 grand. And I was like, all right, never mind. No wonder that high C came out so easy. $10,000 horn.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will be going now.
But my first time going to Southeast was 2019. And that was at Western Carolina. And I had known nothing about it beforehand. My teacher at the time, Dr. Peter Riggs, he was like, "You're gonna go," and I said, "Okay, cool." I've been there every year since, and I feel like I'm always learning new things, whether I'm competing or I'm listening to a lecture or a master class or something. So the fact that I look back and I'm like, "This is a cool thing," and now I'm presenting a whole lecture at this conference, that's just really weird to me.
The blessing of the Lord.
A blessing of the Lord, absolutely. And I get to talk about, my presentation is titled "Using Your Ears for Efficient Practice." And my little sneak peek is, how can one practice their horn without touching their horn? That's my little precursor for that. And then I didn't write this down, but I'm also competing at that conference. Normally I do the solo competition, but this time I'm actually doing one of the mock auditions. I'll be doing the high horn audition and seeing how that goes. Because something I've realized that I've needed more is that audition experience. Going out and actually playing excerpts for a screen and seeing how that goes. Because doing it in a practice room or at home is a different ball game when you're doing it in the actual audition room.
Is this good practice?
Yeah.
You can't see it, but I'm hiding behind the
He's
felt
hiding
behind the microphone.
And then you say, thank you, next.
Can you please play? I'm sorry, next.
Yeah, right. So all really exciting things. Oh, and then my Christian song of the week this week is Shepherd of My Soul by Rivers and Robots.
Great song.
Great song. I feel like a lot of my songs that I've been putting out are very like vibey and like they got like a groove to them. This is the first one I've requested that doesn't really have that, and it's more like of an intimate sounding song, but it's also just so good. Highly recommend giving it a listen. Shepherd of My Soul by Rivers and Robots.
All right, I guess that leads it to me. I have really been having sentence.
You've been having sentence.
Yes,
That's awesome.
What have you been
In music
sentenced
theory,
to?
I've been learning about sentences.
You have.
You cannot see
In
my
theory.
face.
I've been having a lot of fun just getting back into practicing the fundamentals of jamming, and this
Did you
past
say fundamentals?
fundamentals. Playing is playing, right? You're supposed to have fun playing,
Bro.
Please, someone make that T-shirt.
It's gotta already be a shirt, right?
To Etsy.
To Etsy. Anyway, sorry.
This whole entire year, since last May, I have been working on either my master's recital, which was in October, or doctor auditions, which was in March.
Yep.
February.
March is next month, buddy.
And so, what is that? Almost 9 months, 8 months, I've been working on the same music.
That's like you could have, like a child could have been like conceived and born in the amount of time you've been working on that.
Yeah, so like, I've been working on fundamentals during that time, but like not able to just focus on it. And so I'm able to just finally the rest of the semester. Yes, I'm playing for chamber ensembles and stuff like that. I had to work on music for, but my own individual practice is just finally just focusing on fundamentals. I figured stuff out in between like 4 weeks before my auditions, and I'm able to tap that in and just get better at what I figured out of. It's just been awesome, and just re-hindering that passion, like I've mentioned before. Brass band is a really good group this year. This is the second semester where pretty much everybody returned, even the percussion section, which is rare.
Wow.
So our professor Gilbert, who was a TA with me last year, he's really challenged us, and I can't wait for the April concert because it's going to be a lot of fun. My Christian song of the week this week, Josh was playing the song on the radio on the way to bowling, and DC Talk came up, which is early 2000s Christian rock band. And if you don't know that era, go back to that era. It's a great era of Christian songs. And Josh was like, I don't really know these songs, really. It's like, and then about it to Newsboys because they were a related band. And I started listening to Newsboys again, and so many of their songs I was able to sing every single word just from youth group. And like
Those were the days.
middle school, high school youth group was Newsboys, Toby Mac, and a ton of other artists, Casting Crowns, and all of those artists. Like so many great hits. I can sing every single chorus and most of the verses too. And even 10, 15 years later. And so it's incredible how much of that process comes back. And part of my Bible study this morning, I had Newsboys on it. It was awesome. So yeah, that's it. The song is "God's Not Dead" by Newsboys.
Oh yeah, and there was a movie.
God not dead. I'm
He's surely alive. He's living on the inside. Now
Yeah,
I
I
have
noticed.
to pivot into, the controversy with their lead singer recently. Josh may not be aware of this.
No, I was introduced to this group literally last night.
Oh, okay.
So-
Well, we'll have you look it up.
Yeah.
But for everybody else, just not to dwell on it, just so we keep things moving. I don't think it's fair to throw out the baby with the bathwater, because I feel like as a collective good, a lot of like one person changing their direction and dealing with sin in the dark for so long does not, to me, throw out the good that these songs have done for many of us.
And you hear their passion in their singing. Like they were truly meaning what they wrote back in the day. And like it just stinks that this happens. And
Again, it wasn't a moral fall. It was a slow slide over time, and a lot of it just happens in the dark. So encouraging to everyone, like, walk into the light. You know, the Bible says that for Jesus and for the Lord, our dark is not dark to him. Like, he will shatter our darkness. The dark is not dark to him. So I think it's important to talk about our shortcomings and confess them to the Lord, but also to someone you trust, an older, wiser person that's your mentor. Just keeping it to yourself is often is the worst thing you can do.
Isolation is really bad.
Yeah, isolation is bad.
Yeah, I agree.
And it never feels easy to talk about it with other people. You'll find it will be better than keeping it inside and thinking that you can deal with it yourself. So please, just find that person, find that older person that can not only hold you accountable, but someone you can trust that will help you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And a lot of times, just speaking from personal experience, the Lord can take us when we're at our rock bottom and force us into the light. And what was meant for evil and to separate can be used as part of his redemptive story for you and change your life dramatically. So just don't be afraid. It's easier said than done, but again, surrender and trust that that's what he's preparing you for something, and it's the direction that he's having you go in. So
surround yourself with other Christian believers.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to fall and to slide when you've got people around you.
That's a fact.
That are open and honest and authentic. So just putting that out there, and that's why I love meeting with you two on a weekly basis, as many weeks out of the year as we can do. Thank you guys for being awesome men of the Lord and continuing to grow. I know that I've had moments where I've poured into you, and you've had moments you've poured into me, and it's just been great. So we encourage you, especially the men, but I think women too, everybody, find that group and meet with them.
It's so important.
Yeah.
It's so important.
So important. And find a mentor too. And don't make it weird. Just talk, just
talk
find
to them,
someone and meet with them. It doesn't have to be weird. It doesn't have to be super duper frequent. Just knowing that somebody's in your corner you can run to. We often don't get that. Don't be isolated. And with that, a little more subdued trivia. All right, David, I gotta know. How did we do? Josh and I are tied at 1. Will we get any more points? Well, I guess one of us, because closest will get this first point.
The sports question, you had the opportunity for 2 points.
Okay.
Half a point for the month, half a point for the country. And the second question is just 1 point. Cool. And if you got 4 names, one of the 4 names, that would be 1 point.
Cool. All right, sounds good.
All right. Well, we'll go to the sports one. What month and year was the first Winter Olympics held? Closest to the year.
I'll go first. I'll flip mine. That's me flipping. That's my flipping sounds. I said AD 700, February, and Greece.
I said January 1992 in Denmark.
These are very, very different answers.
Oh, no.
Wow. So,
all right. The winner, I just had to double check because Rocky made me second guess everything.
I just put it down. I knew the Olympics are old, so I thought the Winter Olympics would be old.
The winner is Josh.
Really?
What year?
1924.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Winter Olympics is very new. And the
over
actual
100.
date was January 25th, 1924 in France.
That was my pre-birthday.
Oh my God, it was.
By 70 years exactly.
Hey, where was it hosted?
France.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So
Wah, wah.
Josh gets 1 point, right?
I got 1
All
point.
right, Josh gets 1 point.
AD 700.
100.
That was good.
Josh is up to 2 now.
All right, the Bible question. King Saul's heritage. 4 names that relate to Genesis.
I
I'll go first.
put. You're okay.
All right.
I put Jacob.
Okay.
That was a big name, right?
I put Moses.
Josh wins again.
No way! Oh my God.
King Saul, or Saul, was a Benjamite. He was the tribe of Benjamin.
Okay.
Wait a
And
minute.
Benjamin is the son of Jacob.
That's
Who
what I was
Jacob is the
thinking.
son of Isaac. And Isaac is the son of Abraham.
If I had even put, I was even about to put Joseph down. I'm it wouldn't have worked.
Man. You said tribes, and I was thinking, well, Israel. Jacob.
I was like, oh, when
I
he
thought
first
you had
posed
it
the
'cause
question,
you were on the way there.
he posed the question, and I originally was like, dude, I'm gonna put Adam. Can't be
When you
wrong
said it, I
there.
was like, that's a great
Can't
guess.
be wrong.
Yeah,
But
right.
I was like, that's unfair. I probably should go a little more forward.
Yeah.
Oh well. So Josh is in the lead again.
I cannot believe it.
He's
Josh got
what
2
is it?
points today.
So he's 3. It's 3-1,
I'm shocked.
which is almost the compression that we have on this audio right now. It's
Is
3
it
to
really?
1. Yeah, I think yours might be a little more.
I
I
heard
can't
those
remember.
questions, and I genuinely thought I'm dead.
Josh was very scared there.
I was terrified.
You just gotta let go and,
I know,
surrender. You
Yeah.
gotta surrender
Yeah.
and trust the direction.
True.
Let go.
And then, yeah.
I have this fear of looking just really silly on these kinds of questions, so I'm glad that.
I am the silly goose today, and that's okay. So we're going to be looking more at lineages, or I guess I should say I'm going to be looking more at
I need
lineages.
to as well. I need to.
That's what I've been focusing on the past few weeks.
David's
It's
the
been awesome.
lineage expert over there. And I guess if there's nothing else, I think this has been a really fun episode. Great
agree.
to see you both. Recording on a Sunday, which is new for us.
Yeah.
So everyone else, we'll see you Friday, or you'll hear us Friday. I'm Rocky.
I'm Josh.
And I'm David.
And this has been Grace Notes.
Grace Notes.
Grace Notes.
This is my normal speaking voice. This is my normal speaking voice. This is my normal speaking voice. This is my normal speaking voice.
Make a song about
This
that.
is my loud voice. This is going to be very loud. This is my louder voice than I usually talk to. And this is my quiet voice. This is what I did when I was an elementary music teacher. This is my quiet voice. This is how I talk to them loud and soft.
I might use that this week.
Yeah.
I used it all the time. It was so
This
good.
is my loud voice. This is my loud voice.
This is Josh far away from the microphone. Except I'm not Josh.